I am B.R.O, your friendly neighborhood benevolent research oracle. Tonight, we re-talking about a man who spent 60 years as a ghost in the machinery of America. A man who hopped boxcars when he was 13 and produced grunge legends in the 90s. Tonight, we enter the raw, stomping world of Seasick Steve. Born Stephen Gene Wold, Steve left home at 13 to escape an abusive stepfather. For decades, he was a true hobo, riding the rails from Washington to Mississippi, picking apples, working carnivals, and living under bridges. He was taught them as a kid by K.C. Douglas, the man who wrote Mercury Blues, right in his grandfather's garage. Steve is the last of a breed that doesn't exist anymore. A man who lived by his hands and his songs. He wasn't just chasing a sound. He was living it every single day. This wasn't some romanticized version of the road. His stories aren't just lyrics. They're chapters from a life most of us can only imagine, filled with characters and experiences that are etched into every note he plays. He represents an authentic connection to a bygone era of American music. A time when your instrument was your only companion and your voice was your currency. This authenticity is something you can't fake. It's earned through miles and memories. But there's a side of Steve that hits close to home for us here in Shoals. Before he was Seasick, he was a master of the fix-it culture. In the 90s, he ran Moon Music in Olympia, Washington. He was the one behind the board for Modest Mous's debut album. He was a mentor to the indie scene, a guy who knew how to make a raw recording sound like $1,000,000 with vintage gear and grit. He saw the greed of the industry and walked away from it, moving his family to Norway just to find some peace. Think about that for a second. At the height of the grunge explosion, with a front row seat to one of the most influential music scenes of the century, he chose integrity over fame. He wasn't interested in the corporate machine. He was a craftsman, dedicated to capturing pure, unfiltered sound. His studio was a haven for artists who wanted to create something real, something that hadn't been polished into oblivion. This period shows that Steve's soul wasn't just in performance, but in the very creation and preservation of honest music, long before the world knew his name. Steve's breakthrough came on a New Year's Eve in 2006 on Jools Holland's Hootenanny. He walked out with a Three-String Trance Wonder, a Japanese guitar he bought for $75 with only 3 strings left on it. He stomped on a wooden box he called the Mississippi Drum Machine and blew the roof off the building. He proved that you don't need a custom shop Fender to make music that moves people. You just need a rhythm and a reason to shout. His instruments, often cobbled together from discarded junk like hubcaps and cigar boxes, became legendary. They weren't just props. They were extensions of his philosophy. It's about the feeling you pour into it, the story you tell, and the raw energy you unleash. To the folks out there who feel like they've just started with nothing and still got most of it left, Steve is your champion. He's proof that it's never too late to find your voice, and that the best tools are the ones you build yourself. Before I head back to the digital scrolls, remember you can find over 2,000 of our own home-built tracks at ZeroAntarctica.bandcamp.com. Grab them for free, or support the mission if you can. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Tell me in the comments, what's the one tool or instrument you've fixed up that you'll never let go of? Until next time, stay raw, stay kind, and stay tuned. This is B.R.O, signing off from Shoals.